to a bit of Raw talk, and today I'm going to be talking about UFC Fight Night from Nashville, Tennessee, headlined by Wonderboy and Anthony Pettis. Um, Not the most exciting card I've seen this year, but I'm hoping it's one of those where you're not too familiar with everyone, but you're hoping that someone has an incredible performance and they become an overnight superstar. So that's what I'm hoping to see. Um, the co-main event and the main event are really worth talking about. And analyzing. So I'm going to head into the co-main event, which is Curtis Blades versus Justin Willis, and it's a good heavyweight bout. Uh, Justin Willis coming off a good camp from AKA. He looks very controlled, very composed fighter. He has a high fight IQ as well. I was very impressed with how he um, neutralized Mark Hunt's weapons. He used his jab, he used the distance, and he won via decision. Um, Curtis Blades, on the other hand, very impressed with him. He still only has lost to one man in his whole career, and that's Francis Ngannou. Obviously lost twice to him. But everyone else, he has an incredible resume. If you look at Curtis Blades, he destroyed Alistair Overeem last year in Chicago. He beat up Mark Hunt quite convincingly as well, I would say, in a better way than Justin Willis did. And I'm interested in this fight. I think I'm favouring Curtis Blades, but I think Justin Willis can cause a few problems. I think if he can remain the fight standing, I think he'll definitely be able to pick apart Curtis Blades. But I don't know. I think Curtis Blades is an incredible wrestler, pound for pound, one of the best wrestlers in UFC history in terms of the heavyweights. I think he has the most takedowns out of any heavyweight ever. And I trust him to take Justin Willis down and control him on the ground. So I'm going to say Curtis Blades via decision. And the main event kind of pisses me off, to be honest with you. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Anthony Pettis. I don't see the intrigue in this. I don't know why they came up with this fight. There's only one possible positive. If Anthony Pettis wins this fight, that's great for him. He can call the shots now. He can say to Dana, I just beat the number 4 ranked welterweight. Give me a good opponent in lightweight. He builds his resume up. He can also go up to welterweight if he wants to. I just beat up number 4. I'm in the top 5 welterweights. And you can't deny him that. If he loses, though, what's the big deal? I lost to a bigger, arguably better striker than me. So there's not much negatives in that. And for Stephen Thompson, though, there's so many much better matchups for him out there at welterweight. Why not make Thompson versus Rafael dos Anjos? That to me is a much more compelling fight. They're both coming off losses. They both need a win to, try and get a title claim with a new champion now. Get those two guys in. That would be an incredible matchup. I would love to see those two fight. And like I said, they both need to win. Even better yet, why not have Stephen Thompson fight, in my opinion, the ultimate dark horse, the guy that no one mentions, Santiago Ponzinibbio. That guy is an absolute monster, and I think him versus Stephen Thompson would be a much better matchup. I'm much more fascinated with how that one would go than Anthony Pettis. Ponzinibbio is an absolute beast, and there's a reason why no one wants to fight that guy. Everyone's dodging him right now because one win or two max, he's the number one contender in my opinion. and I would like his chances against anyone at welterweight. But again, I don't know. I refuse to believe that Wonderboy is scared. But at the same time, it's like, why don't you push for these fights? Why don't you push for the fights that get you um, that add to your resume? Because in my opinion, if Thompson beats Pettis, which I think he should, does that really add to his resume? Does that really make him go up to number 1, 2 ranked? Hell no. It doesn't do anything. Okay, you beat up Anthony Pettis. You should have beat him. It doesn't really do much for him and his opportunities for a title shot soon. So I'm really puzzled by this one. And if Anthony Pettis is serious about moving up to welterweight and becoming a welterweight, there's so many other welterweights who are, they're not in the top 15, but they're quite popular. Mike Perry. Wouldn't that be a great fight? Imagine if this fight card, for example, was headlined by Stephen Thompson and Santiago Ponzinibbio, co-main event Curtis Blades, Justin Willis, and then the third fight could have been Pettis vs Mike Perry. UFC, please hire us. I mean, I would love to do the matchmaking. It's just, I think I'm just really puzzled by this fight. I really don't know why it's happening. But regardless, it is happening. And I just don't see how Anthony Pettis can win this fight. I mean, height-wise, he's not much smaller, but frame-wise, if you look at the way Thompson's built, he's got a big frame, his bone structure. He's not a big muscular guy like Kamaru Usman. He's a tall, lanky, but he has a big frame, and I just don't see how Anthony Pettis can get to him. I mean, no one can get to him. Stephen Thompson is probably the best fighter at controlling the distance and picking his shots. If he takes him to the ground, I mean, even then, how does he control a guy who's bigger than him? I just don't see a way for him winning this one. I'm going to say Stephen Thompson gets a win in the second round TKO, if not the first. I mean, I think he'll go right through Anthony Pettis. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.